For today. It's going to stay breezy. It's going to be warm. Some great weather to check out Russell Dickerson taking the rodeo stage. Temperature readings will go from the 80s this afternoon into the upper 70s by 6 p.m., low 70s at 8 o'clock this evening. Some very low rain chances for us the next couple of days, but there are signs that those rain chances are going to be climbing over the next 7 days, and so will our potential seeing some measurable rain across the area. We've got a couple of cold fronts penciled in, one that's going to stall over the weekend. That's what brings up our rain chances Saturday at 70%, stalling out on Sunday at 60%. Meanwhile, Tuesday into Wednesday, another front. This one could be a stronger one, but that also elevates our rain chances early next week. And the amount of rain we could see is some of the highest we've seen in over a couple of months, maybe 1 to 3 inches for most areas. And the further north you go, those rain chances, or at least rainfall totals, could be even higher. And this is going to help in a couple of departments. First of which, the drought situation, hopefully ease or even wipe away some of that drought, but also help with our allergies, getting those pollens down or washed away. Oak and pine pollens coming in very high yesterday. Grass pollens on the low end, mold spores on the medium end. And as you know, this is kind of the time of the year where we've got to track those oak tree pollens because they are going to be climbing. Right now, we're just counting them in the hundreds. But by the middle of March, that is going to skyrocket. Sometimes those pollen counts getting up into the thousands. So we've got a couple more weeks before that happens. As far as the storm track for today, this morning, a lot of those storms are shifting away, getting pulled away from southeast Texas as the upper level winds are coming in from the south and west and pushing all of those storms to the north and east. But that storm track is going to be shifting, and it's going to be favoring those storms moving closer toward us as we get into Friday night and into Saturday. Now today, that severe weather threat stays over the panhandle, western parts of Oklahoma, and then it slowly starts to get a little bit closer towards southeast Texas. You'll notice some of our far north and northwest counties could get clipped by a strong or even severe thunderstorm, but a level 2 severe weather threat stays mainly over central and northern parts of the state. Notice what happens on Saturday. There is a sign that we could be dealing with a line of heavy rain and thunderstorms that now shifts that severe weather threat across southeast Texas, but also ahead of that line, there could be individual cells that could lead to some strong wind gusts or even the potential of some rotating thunderstorms that could mean a brief or isolated tornado. So let me show you what a future track is showing. And again, this is one computer model, and this model data is showing that the front doesn't move into the state until we get closer into the evening on Friday. So through most of the day on Friday, it looks like things are going to be a go, warm, humid conditions. But notice that this line starts to form well ahead of that front sometime Friday evening. And this line showing signs that it could weaken as it approaches Houston early Saturday morning. But then there will be another line that starts to form out toward Interstate 35. And this is the one that could push through and impact some of your outdoor plans during the day on Saturday. So between 2 to 4 p.m. and then closer toward the coastline around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Now that line races well ahead of that front, and that front gets left behind over on Sunday. So by Sunday, because that front is still stalled out across southeast Texas, that'll still be the focus point for some additional showers, maybe even some thunderstorms. The flood risk on Saturday, a level 1 out of 4. So we're looking at an isolated threat for some street flooding concerns, and then that flood risk will be expanding over toward the coastline as that front remains stalled out. No major issues for today. This morning, there could be some visibility issues, mainly along our coastal communities where the winds are a little bit weaker. Those winds will start to pick up, 10 to 20 mile per hour winds by this afternoon. We're looking for some spotty rain shower potential this morning, and then by the afternoon hours, a mix of sun and clouds. Things should stay mostly dry for those of you that are headed to the rodeo. Upper 60s to low 70s this morning, nearing some record-breaking warmth the next couple of days before at least more clouds and rain arrives over the weekend. We get a nice cool down, though, about a week from today with that stronger front coming through sometime on Wednesday. And when I mean a cool down, ladies, might even be some jacket weather returning. By next Thursday, those temperatures will be dropping once again into the 40s.
Nice, all right.
Kind of looking forward to, you know, what does spring break weather have? I know a lot of folks going into spring break next week. I know my kids are, and so you want to know what the weather is going to be. And I can tell you that first half of spring break, unfortunately, is going to stay very wet and unsettled. I do want to raise your awareness. Now, this forecast is a tricky one because it's not a slam dunk. Not all the models are coming into agreement and saying, hey, you know what? There's going to be a line of heavy rain and thunderstorms coming through over the weekend. There's a couple of models that are saying that, but enough evidence where the Storm Prediction Center is also leaning on the threat for some severe thunderstorms. So because of that, I want to build your awareness. So I've issued an ABC 13 weather watch. Of course, this could change. This is going to be a very fluid forecast until we can get some better model agreement. So here's what we've got. Models are agreeing that the next couple of days, at least the next couple mornings, it's going to stay warm, it's going to stay humid, but also on the dry side. It's really not until Friday night into Saturday when things start to build, we start to see more of that activity picking up. Mostly cloudy conditions, temperature-wise, we're in the low 70s. A little bit breezy today, 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts. Nothing that warrants any sort of wind advisories out there. And if that wind is calm enough, we could see some areas of dense fog, similar to what we're seeing down along the island. No dense fog advisories this morning. As far as 13 alert radar, mostly seeing map, meaning that most of us are dry, but there could be a couple of you out on the west side of town. You pick up a sprinkle here and there. That chance for rain, I think this morning is less than 20%. Heading into the afternoon, you'll get a break in the cloud cover for some. Others, you may be stuck under the clouds, partly to mostly cloudy conditions. And then by tonight, I expect those clouds to clear out. We're off to a warm start this morning. No surprise with those southerly winds continuing to bring in the warmth and humid conditions. This afternoon, we top out into the low 80s. There's more, obviously, part of our weather story, not just talking about the next 12 hours, but also what's ahead for the weekend and beyond. Don't worry, the second half of spring break, I think you're going to love. I'll have that with the 10-day coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thank you.